There might not be any sneakers that divide the sneaker community more than Jjjjound collabs. So we know that over the last 2 years, the one sneaker brand that has really risen in popularity has been Asics, with models like the Kayano 14, the Gel NYC, and the Gel 1130s consistently selling out. But if we look back at what kickstarted this rise, you can make an argument that it was the 2022 collaboration between Jjjjound and Asics on the Kayano 14s, being the shoe which really took Asics mainstream, a super clean collab that really highlighted just how versatile Asics sneakers are. Well, now Asics and Jjjjound are back with a second collaboration, and in this video I'll be reviewing the Jjjjound Asics GT 2160. Before we begin, make sure you are following me on Instagram. That is where I am the most active, dropping content on there daily, and I do respond to each and every one of you who hit me up in the DMs, so make sure you follow me. So these did release on October 31st on the Jjjjound website, and a few other retailers got them on November the 2nd, and it seems like they were fairly easy to get if you really tried. Because I live in the EU, I didn't really bother getting this from the Jjjjound website, just because usually whenever you buy something from that site, you end up paying a lot of customs duties fees, so I decided to wait for a European release. There were 3 colorways unexpectedly that released. The first one that released was this black and silver pair, which did sell out pretty fast, and that pair was exclusive to the Jjjjound and Asics websites only. We then had this white and silver colorway, which seems to be the most accessible out of all of them because a few other retailers managed to get these as well. And then unexpectedly, out of nowhere, with no promo whatsoever, Jjjjound also dropped a third colorway, which is the inverted blue, and that was only on the Jjjjound website, and that one did sell out quite fast. The one thing that I thought was pretty interesting with the way these sneakers released, especially in Europe, was that every single store that got these only released them in store. There was no raffles for them. You had to pretty much line up the old-fashioned way to get these, which I was cool with. I managed to get these from Overkill here in Berlin. Now, I did manage to get the more widely available white and black colorway, which honestly, in my opinion, this is the best one that dropped out of the 3. And when it comes to Jjjjound collabs in general, it's the same exact pattern online every single time. You first see pictures of the shoe, and then you have some people saying, wow, those are clean, absolutely need them, Jjjjound snapped. And then you have the other half of people who say, wow, yet another lazy collab from Jjjjound. Do they even try? These sneakers look like GRs, nothing special. I have been a bit critical in the past when it comes to Jjjjound collabs. However, I don't necessarily think that criticism applies for this one, because I think that criticism about how these just look like regular Asics shoes, personally, I think you can really say that about Asics brand in general. I think most of their models, like the Kayano 14s, the Gel NYCs, the GT 2160s, the 1130s, I mean, to me, most of these sneakers are pretty interchangeable. They look quite similar to each other. They have very similar colorways as well. I even think for the average non-sneakerhead person, I don't even think they'll be able to tell the difference. In fact, to me, the only Asics that truly stand out are the Kiko Kostadanov pairs, which is why I think he's one of the best collaborators out there. So I'm not at all mad with what Jjjjound did here. To me, these look like what a Jjjjound and Asics collab is supposed to look like. So most of the shoe, most of this upper is made out of a mesh material as usual with GT 2160s. However, there is one big difference, and that is that you're getting this very wide mesh here. You can see these very big circles on the mesh, which is not something you normally see on 2160s. It definitely gives it a bit of early 2000s vibe. And additionally, you have some other materials being used on the upper as well, because you normally get synthetic leather with most of the silver panels. But on the mudguard on the toe box this time, it seems like you're getting carbon fiber instead, done in like a dark gray, gunmetal gray color. And you also have some lighter gray carbon fiber on the other panels. You have some synthetic leather on the Asics logo. And they also, rather unexpectedly for Jjjjound, gave us these yellow hits. It's officially called safety yellow that they used here. You see that on the Asics logo on the tongue. There's a bit of GT 2160 branding on the heel as well. And then of course at the back of the shoe you have the Jjjound logo. It's done in a black font surrounded by that safety yellow color. And that is for a Jjjound collab, a pretty loud color to see on a shoe. It's kind of like all these Jjjound designers got together on this shoe and said, hey, we're gonna get wild on this collab. Let's throw some highlighter yellow on there. The laces you get with this shoe are some standard white rope laces, but additionally you get an extra pair which is also white laces, but they do have a black outline, which I think will add a pretty interesting look to the shoe. And I forgot to mention, this is what the box looks like. So you get an all over black box. It's got the Asics logo on top and the Jjjjound logo on the side. Pretty minimal looking box, but looks pretty clean. The insoles of the shoe are done in black. On the right pair, it features the Jjjjound logo done in yellow. And then you have the Asics logo on the left pair. Now the GT2160, to me, I wouldn't say it's like my favorite Asics model. I do much prefer the Kayano 14s, the Gel NYCs, and especially the 1130s. The 2160s to me are a bit more flatter and a bit longer. And also as far as how they feel on feet, the cushioning on them is a bit more firm than on the 1130s especially. And they're not as soft as either the Kayano 14s or the Gel NYCs. It's a bit more of a firm cushioning. So if that's something you prefer, you'll definitely like this shoe. And as far as sizing goes, these definitely do fit me pretty narrow. So I always have to go a half size up in the GT2160. So I did get these in an 11.5. But to give you guys a frame of reference, I also wear 11.5 in the Kayano 14s, which are pretty narrow for me. But in the Gel 1130s, they are a wider shoe. So I go with my true size, which is a size 11. And also on the Gel NYCs, I go up to an 11.5. But on the Gel 1130s, which for me are a bit more wide foot friendly shoe, I go down to my true size, which is an 11. And to compare it with some other brands, I also go with my true size in almost every New Balance sneaker, including all of the 900 series, and also in most Nike sneakers like the Zoom Vomero 5 or the Nike Dunk. Overall, this is what we expected it to be, a very clean pair of shoes. You wouldn't expect Jjjjound to do anything different. I would say I definitely preferred their first Asics collab a bit more, but that mainly comes down to the model that they used. These are great if you're just looking for an everyday versatile shoe that you can just wear with anything. You don't have to think about it. This is one of those that you just throw on with any outfit. It doesn't matter what you're wearing up top. You can just put these on and they will fit perfect. And if you look at what these are going for right now on the resale market, they're actually not going for all that much. And I don't necessarily think that prices on these are going to rise too much. So if you're looking to just buy these on the resale market, I will leave a StockX link in the description. Do let me know in the comments, what did you guys think about this pair? Were you happy with it? For all the Jjjjound fans out there, did these live up to your expectations? And make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, because I am bringing the content. I will be, I'm still thinking about that top 10 sneakers of the year, what sneakers to include in that list. So watch out for that video soon. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.